Hello, creeps and creepers and creepy people and creeps and my peeps and my creeps. Welcome and just come creeping right on in here to the library at Horror Hotel, where it's time for another installment of Creepy Cheapies, where we explore and examine and appreciate the fine art of Halloween masks. Now, is our sound okay? Is the sound level all right? Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Okay. The reason I ask is because it's important that you listen carefully and do pay attention and make sure you don't mishear me. Now, misheard lyrics, yeah, I love misheard lyrics sometimes, but you don't want to misunderstand the name of today's mask. Today's mask, brace yourself for an appalling monstrosity here at Horror Hotel. It's this thing, and now listen carefully. It's called Frenzy. I don't mean that as in you've made an alphabetized list of 26 friends, starting with friend A and ending with friend Z. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying frenzy, as in, well, like, say, is that really your name? That's not a name. That's just a word. Is that your name? It's good enough. Okay, he says call him Frenzy. Well, what's your first name? Feeding. See, nobody wanted to hear that. No. Anyway, this very hungry monster represents one of a subgenre of mouth without a face type monsters. And he is a 2023 or 24 product. Which year did you come out? Wait a minute. Hold up. 23 or 24? It doesn't matter. He says nobody cares. So, okay, if it doesn't matter to him, it doesn't matter to me. But anyway, he's put out by the creeps at Immortal Masks, people known for their very high-end, super deluxe, but pricey silicone masks, who in recent times have branched out into latex and made much more affordable versions of some of their monsters available in latex, like this one, which will only set you back like 45 bucks. Wow, that's cheap for this nice of a monster. You sure you're not more like 80 or 90 bucks? No? More like 40 or 50? Really? That's what he says. I don't know if you can believe a guy with no eyes, but anyway, getting back to him being a mouth with no face type monster, that's kind of a subgenre. The first one I can remember being committed to film would be on an old episode of Boris Karloff's thriller from the early 60s called The Return of Andrew Bentley, and that had a demon conjured up by an evil sorcerer that was represented as a, although very blurred and obscured, face that was just a big mouth with no face. Of course, the best known mouth without a face movie star would probably be the Chatterer Cenobite from the Hellraiser franchise. And there are others. There's a really bad movie called Don't Speak that had a monster with no eyes and just a big mouth. And then there are others as well, even like arguably the Aliens franchise and the Resident Evil franchise has faceless mouth monster. No, I didn't say French fries. I said franchise. Always hungry, this guy. What's your favorite thing to eat? Astronauts' faces. See, nobody wanted to hear that. No. Anyway, as for masks, the first one I'm aware of that was a mouth without a face monster is a classic from Death Studios called Bite. And since then, there have been others by companies like Zagoni and, well, who else has done mouth without a face monsters? You say Ghoulish has done something like it? Really? Yeah. And, well, the advent of the age of things like creepypasta ushered in more faceless horror kind of monsters. Wasn't Faceless Horror the name of the one from Zagoni? Yeah, I think it was. But look how nicely these teeth and jaws are done. I love that, because that's almost a Zagoni level insanity when it comes to getting that out of the mold. Look at those teeth. And I don't know if you can see this, but the vision slits where you'd be looking out of are sort of in that gum area right there beneath his upper teeth. Can you see that? And as for why he's got this red all over him, I don't know if that's astronaut blood or if he's just been maybe eating spaghetti with too much tomato sauce, maybe. And maybe that's all that is. I don't know. But anyway, what would you wear with this thing? I'm sure there are any number of rubber hands on the market that would go well with it. Just something that's kind of a light flesh tone color. will work. Something that's kind of nasty and gnarly looking. As far as costume, the door's wide open for this guy, or maybe the airlock is wide open. He could be wearing a space suit if he's an alien. He could be wearing like a flight suit. He could be wearing torn, tattered, raggedy stuff like he's a beast that lives in a cave. He could be wearing a jumpsuit, uniform-y looking thing. He could be wearing something along the lines of pajamas if he's an experiment from a laboratory or a hospital, an experiment gone wrong, I would say. He could be wearing something like that. He could be wearing a hazmat suit. You could just pretty much use your imagination and decide what kind of character he is and exactly where he came from. You could even put regular clothes on him and use him as something that just doesn't make any logical sense and just defies logic, and it just comes out of somebody's nightmare. He could be that type of thing as well. But wow, for the $40 to $50 price range, I think Frenzy is pretty awesome. Yeah, you're welcome. Glad to do you a solid there, Frenzy. Hopefully you won't bite my face off. Not that it's much of a face, but it's the only one I've got right now, unless you count all the latex ones lying around. But I say thumbs up to the Immortal Masks Frenzy right here. And, well, that's all for Creepy Cheapies. See, nobody wanted to hear that.